being involved recently in a few off-the-court incidents, Jahlil Okafor will now be accompanied by a security guard whenever he goes out of town in any city. That's according to league sources. The 19-year-old Okafor was caught last week on video engaging in a brawl with a man outside of a Boston nightclub. The fight in Boston followed an incident in October in which a heckler pointed a gun at Okafor's head following a verbal exchange, according to a report in the Philadelphia Inquirer. Okafor was stopped by New Jersey police in October for going 108 miles per hour on a Philadelphia bridge. Also in October, he reportedly tried to use a fake ID at a Philly bar. Stephen A., how concerned should the Sixers be about Okafor?
Concerned slightly, but not majorly. I mean, the latest incident in Boston is problematic because that involved violence, and who knows what kind of situation that could have ended up being. Obviously, you shouldn't be. I go over the Ben Franklin Bridge in Philadelphia all the time. He says certainly you have no business going over 100. You don't have any business going 70 miles an hour on that bridge, let alone more than 100 miles an hour. So in that regard, it's irresponsible. But I wouldn't say it's juvenile. It's juvenile. That's the best way to put it. But at the same time, I think that he recognizes now more than ever before the error of his ways. You know, like I said, I've spoken to family members and others about him. He hasn't been a bad kid throughout his life. He's somebody in the first month with the Philadelphia 76ers has lost more than he's lost in his entire life, combining high school, college, and before high school, for crying out loud. This guy is losing, and he's going through it. And so I think that it just points to, one, you got to have the right environment around you. Make sure you have security with you to keep you, from finding yourself in precarious situations, number one. I applaud the Philadelphia 76ers because clearly it's apparent that they're actually capable of doing something right, because I certainly didn't know they were until this latest situation where they got him security. But number three, I also think that it points to something incredibly important, Skip, that we haven't touched on, and that is this. When they traded Michael Carter-Williams, and I don't know this to be true because I only spoke to Michael Carter-Williams once or twice, but I didn't ask him about this. I had heard that from a psychological perspective, the level of depression kicking in was affecting him tremendously. And it wouldn't surprise me at all that if how desolate situations are in Philadelphia with this team, that more players weren't psychologically warped from the perpetual losing. At some point in time, I'm going to be an advocate of Brett Brown getting checked out with some of the losing that he's got to deal with, considering the lack of help the organization has given him. So, again, they're moving in a forward direction. His family are watching out for him. Jahlil Okafor, I think, knows better, as he confessed, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's 19. He's in a precarious situation. I think that he'll learn from this and move forward. The Sixers situation, however, is so dire, it might cause anybody to go crazy.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. No single incident involving Jahlil Okafor is that terribly troubling, but the totality of it is pretty stunning to me, because when Okafor was at Duke, I didn't hear a word about him. And I know it's a very insulated program, very protective of its players, get all that.
Private school, yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't exactly Johnny Manziel in college, right? Did we ever hear I didn't hear anything. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm too removed from it. But I didn't hear a peep about him, even going into the draft, like, oh, there's some red flags here about his off-court behavior. I didn't hear anything. And all of a sudden, we got red flags everywhere. Molly detailed all of them. Not just, like you say, the speedings, juvenile, but then a fake ID, and then a gun was pointed at his head in a nightclub. Really? And then the incident, assault complaint filed in Boston. Man, it's one thing after another until you finally say, okay, is it the losing syndrome in Philadelphia? Is it that he suddenly has a lot of money and has never had the money and is having a hard time dealing with it? I don't know, but if I'm the Sixers, I'm pretty concerned. I'm certainly concerned enough that I'm going to assign a security person to him full-time until he grows up a little bit. I like his tweets. They come across very sincerely from a place of young wisdom. Like I think he knows what's right and wrong, and he came, as you point out, from a very solid background. I hope the best for him, but these are all, the pile of incidents is troubling.
Well, you know, I'm connected to the Sixers franchise. There's a lot of good people that work in there. It's just that upper management and their vision for this franchise moving forward is so pathetic and inexcusable.
Yeah.
It can have a detrimental effect on any human being right now.
Well said. Hopefully these are just rookie mistakes. Speaking of Philly, where Stephen A. is right now, Kobe returns there tonight, his final trip home. We'll get into it next.
And the other forward, number 24, 6'6", 20th campaign from Lower Merion High School, Kobe Bryant.
I mean, this is unbelievable. You need to show him more respect. You can say that nonsensical stuff, and then to top that off, you're moody. I'm not joking, bro.
First Take is brought to you by Wild Turkey. Bottled but never tamed. Never compromise. Drink responsibly.
Kobe will play his final regular season game in Philadelphia tonight. He hasn't played there since 2012, and this is the only game the Sixers are favored to win all season. Stephen A. will be there. What do you expect from Kobe tonight?
Well, I expect him to receive a rousing ovation. I expect him to hit a few shots to score about 20 points, but I don't anticipate it'll be good enough because I'm just not sold on what I'm seeing from the Los Angeles Lakers. The Sixers have led in about the last 6 games or so that they've lost. They've led with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They play very, very hard. They show a lot of energy and tenacity. They just have been against superior teams. I don't consider the Lakers to be a superior team. As far as I'm concerned, Kobe should have a decent night, but the Sixers should win tonight's game.
Wow. They're 0-18, and you're predicting a victory for the home team tonight, even though it's Kobe's home away from home. Really?
Yes.
Stephen A.'s bringing the good karma.
Unless Kobe goes berserk.
You know what?
I would go with the home team.
I won't go to berserk, but I think Kobe's going to have his best night of the year against the 0-18 team. So I'll say he scores 25 and they win.
Maybe. We'll see. But I think that Jahlil Okafor, averaging 18 points per game, will have something to say about being passed by the Lakers. That's actually where he wanted to go. And he was supposed to go there. But Jim Buss and Mitch Kupchak in their brilliance decided to draft D'Angelo Russell. And there you have it. I think Jahlil Okafor will have a big game tonight.
I think the home crowd in Philly will cheer harder for Kobe than for the Sixers tonight.
We'll see.
Interesting. Stephen A., it's going to be crazy down there. Have fun.
I intend to. I'll take it easy.
Thanks for joining us.
I mean, this is unbelievable. You need to show him more respect. And you can say that nonsensical stuff, and then to top that off, you're moody. I'm not joking, bro.